What's going on, Arizona sports fan family? We're back at it again with another video of the Arizona sports fan. Today what we're going to talk about is I'm going to talk about the big key free agent players for the Arizona Cardinals that possibly could be leaving this team that the Arizona Cardinals need to keep. That's what we're going to dive into today, guys. Let's go ahead and roll that intro. Alright, welcome back in. Now, like I mentioned in the intro, today what I want to talk about is the Arizona Cardinals free agent players that possibly could hit the market, but that the Arizona Cardinals need to retain. Now, before we get started, definitely do me one huge favor. We are on the road to 9K. I can't do it without you guys. Definitely do me a huge favor. Smack that like button and subscribe to the AC Sports Fan here on YouTube. That would mean the world. And one other thing here, guys. Honestly, I'm still a little bummed out about this team, honestly. If I'm going to be completely frank with you guys, I am still bummed out with how this team ended the season. Honestly, I want to start looking to 2022, but we still got the Super Bowl ahead of us at this very moment. But I'm still a little bummed out with starting off 7-0, being a 10-2 team, and coming and crashing down like we did. It's very frustrating to see as a fan, and this probably is one of the least hyped up I am about 2022. Now, keep in mind, it's still fresh. The wounds are still fresh from 2021 right now. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be singing a completely different tune when, August or September comes around. But as of right now, let's go ahead and just dive right into it. Now, the Arizona Cardinals have about 8 top free agent players that's going to possibly hit the market, but I do think the Arizona Cardinals needs to at least keep 3 out of the 8. Now, 4 is going to be a player that I still want on this roster, just kind of really depending on, if the money's right, really, bottom line. So let's take a look at the free agents that we have here for the Arizona Cardinals. We're going to start off with Christian Kirk. Chandler Jones is another big one. Chase Edmonds. Max Williams, AJ Green, James Conner, Zach Ertz, as well as Robert Alford. Now, let's kind of go in that order here. Christian Kirk. We've been talking about Christian Kirk for quite some time on this channel, and honestly, I think what it comes down to it is if the money is right for Christian Kirk, I wouldn't absolutely mind bringing him back. Now, I think we know right now a number 2 wide receiver, that's not who he is. He is going to be that number 3 wide receiver that a lot of team wants. Now, if he flourishes with another system, obviously that would make me completely hate myself because it kind of happens a lot, with a lot of Arizona Cardinal players going to a lot of teams and they do very, very well on that team. So I would hate to see it, but I also don't want to pay Christian Kirk a good amount of money because I just don't think it's worth it at the end of the day. So for Christian Kirk, if the money is right and we're paying him as a number 3 wide receiver and if he's happy to take like a team-friendly deal, I'm all up for it. Let's move on to the next player here, AJ Green. Now, AJ Green to me, Nah, I'm going to keep this one short. I'm good. Let's go away from the AJ Green experiment. Now, whatever he did for, this team with this 1 year, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so very much for everything that you did. But we need a dog, man. We need somebody out there that's going to be able to ignite a spark in this, bench. And AJ Green just doesn't have it right now, at least this point into his career. If we had him prime, if we had AJ Green in his prime, then obviously I would be speaking a different tune. But as of right now, I think I'm done with the AJ Green experiment. I don't want to bring him back. Moving on to the next player here, Chandler Jones. Now, I was preaching hashtag pay the man after the the Titans game. And as the season has gone on, I honestly do think that Chandler Jones is going to get paid, but not by the Arizona Cardinals. He started the season super hot. I don't really quite know if he had talks with, Steve Keim about possibly waiting until the end of the season and him maybe worrying a lot more about, his contract, his long-term contract after the season. I don't really know. It's all kind of really weird how it happened. He showed up in a very few amount of games. But just when we needed him the most, I don't feel like he was there. He was 100% committed to this team and just this fan base just in general. So for that reason, I'm going to have to give a pass over to Chandler Jones. And the biggest reason why is because he wants to get paid big and just the Arizona Cardinals doesn't have the funds at this point. Player I want to talk about is James Conner. My goodness, this guy was an absolute steal in the free agent market last year. Now, to me, I don't think Steve Keim does 2 out of the 3 things very well. He doesn't pick up, free agent players that are very beneficial for this Cardinal team, and I don't think he can draft worth a lick. But he could definitely, make some really good trades. That's one thing that Steve Keim does have very, very good, kudos for doing. But James Conner was a huge pickup for this Arizona Cardinal team. Honestly, I feel like he was probably the most physical, the most passionate, the most player that wanted to win out on the field, especially on that offense. And that's what I want to bring back, that dog mentality, that physicality back again on this offense, because we can definitely really need it going around into 2022. So James Conner is an absolute must in my book. And for my next player, it's going to be Chase Edmonds. Now, it's kind of a tricky situation. I like Chase Edmonds, I really do. But if I really kind of put together James Conner and Chase Edmonds together, we can't pay them both. Like it would be very silly for the Cardinal organization to do something like that. So obviously, I'm going to have to choose James Conner over Chase Edmonds, and I'm going to have to let Chase Edmonds walk at this very moment. And it comes down to, who do I want the best in terms of running back? And I do think that Benjamin is a very qualified running back that's going to be able to take the reps that Chase Edmonds did. And I'm pretty sure Jonathan Ward will hopefully come back, fingers crossed. But Benjamin, I have faith in the world in. Next player I want to talk about here is Zach Ertz. Man, Zach Ertz is absolute huge trade for this Arizona Cardinal team. We didn't spend very much when we ended up getting him from the Philadelphia Eagles. I think he's a must-keep as well. Now, I don't think the Arizona Cardinals offense utilized them very well at all. I think if you look back at a lot of games, he was open down up the middle a lot. And that's definitely something that we got to take into account here in terms of the progression of Kyler Murray. I know it's really hard for him to see past the offensive line, but that is going to be big and huge and key for the success of Zach Ertz. I do want to bring him back. I think it's absolutely key to bring back Zach Ertz. He seems like he wants to stay here. He really likes, the Phoenix weather, the Arizona area, whatever it is. I do think Zach Ertz is going to be an awesome asset, but we really need to take a look at ourselves in the mirror and really figure out if we're not going to use him to his full potential, it would suck to see him go. But in the grand scheme of things, that's kind of what it comes down to. I would love Zach Ertz to come back personally, and I do think that Cliff Kingsbury needs to do everything in his power to make sure that he has designated plays, the ball's going to go straight to him. So I do think that Cliff Kingsbury has a lot of work to do this offseason. Next player I want to talk about is Robert Alford. I want to give kudos to Robert Alford. I know I was kind of hard on him in the beginning of the season because he signed a 3-year contract with us. He was hurt those first 2 years, and then we re-signed him to a 1-year deal. He was starting off very good. He actually had a really good season with the Arizona Cardinals, but what ended up happening again, the injury bug struck, and unfortunately he couldn't stay healthy, and that's kind of one of the main reasons what to lead me to believe as why pay him again if we can't have him on the field for all 17 games? I know it sucks, but the bottom line is this is a business, and we need to look out for the players that we're paying are going to be productive on the field. And right now, Robert Alford has not shown that he can stay consistently healthy on the field. So I would have to give a pass to Robert Alford. And my final player here, I'm not sure exactly, but I do believe Max Williams is going to be a free agent. I'm not sure if it's restricted or unrestricted. I haven't really looked too much into it. I probably will go ahead and let you know down here once I figure it out. But he needs to come back. I don't care what happens, but Max Williams does need to come back 110%. It would be cool to see Zach Ertz and Max Williams together on there. Now, I think if you were to pick one to pay the most, obviously I think you're going to be paying Zach Ertz more money than Max Williams. I love what Max Williams can bring to this offense. If we can get a 2 tight end set, that would be absolutely amazing. Max Williams is a good blocker, but he has been making some good plays, catching the ball here and there. Our playmaker in my mind is going to be Zach Ertz in the tight end role, but if we can get another blocker on the line for Kyler Murray, I think sky's the limit. But when it comes down to this team, we need to kind of evolve, and that's going to stem from Kyler Murray getting out of the shotgun 90 to 95% of the time, although he might not be comfortable with. I think it's time to really look ourselves in the mirror as Arizona Cardinal fans, as the Arizona Cardinal organization, and say, this is working in the beginning of the season, whatever Cliff Kingsbury is doing, but towards the end, defenses are adjusting, and we got to do the same. All right, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate you guys for watching. As always, like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so very much. Have a great rest of your day, and I'm out.